And Russian President Vladimir Putin has held a phone call with US President Donald Trump. The discussions focused on the escalating tensions between Israel and Iran. Putin condemned Israel's attacks against Iran, and the two leaders have not ruled out a return to the negotiation table to reach a deal on Iran's nuclear program. Trump reportedly told Putin that US negotiators are ready to resume work with Iranian representatives. Let's bring in our White House correspondent, Kimberly Halket. She's joining us live from Washington, D.C., and Trump talking to Putin, who is, of course, a key ally of Iran. Kimberly.
That's right. And we believe, although it's not 100% clear, but we believe that this call was initiated by the Russian President Vladimir Putin. It lasted about 50 minutes. And in that call, we understand that the Kremlin believes that this was a useful conversation. The goal of the call was for Vladimir Putin to brief President Trump on two conversations that he held previously, one with the leader of Iran, the other with the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, in this conversation, what we know that Vladimir Putin stressed is the importance of trying to resolve this peacefully in terms of Israel's strikes on Iran, but also with a diplomacy that would allow for an agreement that's mutually beneficial. Now, Russia also committing to making sure that this de-escalates through diplomacy and offering to mediate in the services in order to try and achieve that goal. What we also know is that the U.S. negotiators, for its part, Donald Trump saying, are ready to go at any time. He told Vladimir Putin he finds the situation in the Middle East in general very alarming. But of course, the problem in trying to restart those talks or to get those talks into the next round, which would be the sixth round, is that right now Iran says it is not ready to do so.
And Kimberly, Putin joins a list of world leaders who've spoken to Trump since Israel launched its attacks and who have condemned Israel's action. But who has his ear, Kimberly? We've been speaking to analysts who have said that the voices in Trump's ear now in the US support Netanyahu and whatever he's doing.
Yeah, it's really interesting because when you look at Donald Trump's Republican Party, right now it is divided over this issue. There are the sort of MAGA faction, if you would call it that, Make America Great Again faction, that are the bulk of the Trump supporters. And then there is another largely more pro-Israel neoconservative faction that is really in lockstep with anything that Israel does, regardless of who's in charge, in this case, Benjamin Netanyahu. And so right now it appears that it is those ears that are prevailing, given the fact that they have spent more time in Washington, are more comfortable with diplomacy. But I can tell you there's a very large faction that's aligned with the Democrats on this issue in particular, that says that they are not comfortable with more intervention and seeing the United States dragged into a conflict because of the United States' traditional alliance with the State of Israel.
All right, that is our White House correspondent, Kimberly Halket, with the latest live in Washington, D.C. Thank you, Kimberly.